What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Fan Friday, and if you don't know, Fan Friday is where I make a post on the Team Fish Knuckles Facebook page saying, "Hey, vote for your favorite deck. Whatever deck wins will be the deck that we play for Friday." And the deck that won was Glameow Diggersby. Yep, that was the deck that won, and we're gonna play it today. Shout out to Daniel Altavilla. I think I said Daniel Altavilla last time I said his name, and I apologize for that. It's Villa. Villa. I'm probably still pronouncing it wrong, but whatever. It's okay. But I mean, it's okay if I pronounce his name wrong because he maybe played this deck, but that's okay. Today we're playing Glameow Diggersby. Like I said, Diggersby, kind of a weird name. But your main attack. Well, we have two attackers in here, and it's kind of weird. Early game, you're going to use Glameow, and we're going to go for the Act Cute. Your opponent puts a card from his or her hand on the bottom of his or her deck. And you're probably like, Squeaky, why are you doing this? Why are you attacking with this card? Why is it good? Well, if you combine Glameow with Delinquent and Red Card, you can actually put your opponent down to 0 cards. Red card says your opponent shuffle his or her hand into their deck, and then they draw 4 cards. So they get 4 cards off the red card. And then, if you use Delinquent, you discard any standing card in play. If you do, your opponent discards 3 cards from his or her hand, putting them at 1, and then you can use the Glameow using the Act Q, and then put them at 0. Now, you see how, this seems great. Seems like a cool concept, but there's so many cards in the game right now that can get around this. You do have a Silent Lab to shut down Seamus, but you do have to use Delinquent to discard a Stadium. So that's definitely weird. I think I'm saying something wrong in the game. I think I definitely say like you should Silent Lab, Delinquent, put down another Silent Lab, but you can't do that. You can only put down 1 Stadium per turn. I definitely think you said put down 2 Stadium. The rule says you're only allowed to put down 1 Stadium per turn, and I think I actually accidentally say that you should do this, but you can't. Just don't listen to that part. I definitely misplayed there, or definitely mistalked there. But the only downside is you do have to discard your own Stadium unless they put down their own Stadium turn 1. Then maybe you could Delinquent their Stadium to put down Silent Lab and make it where they can't use Shaman. It's definitely a weird deck. Don't get me wrong. It's not that great, but we're going to see if we win some games with it. Now, you do have a 2/2 Bumblebee Diggersby. Now, we know what Bumblebee does. It has the Barrage trait where you attack twice. And this first attack, Burrow, discard top card of your opponent's deck. And then second attack is Rototiller, shuffle card from your discard pile into your deck. Now, Bumblebee can evolve into a Diggersby. There we go. And has the attack pickup. You put 2 item cards from your discard pile into your hand. Now, this is going to be kind of late game. And what I kind of figured out is you can Diggersby grab 2 puzzle time because you can grab any 2 item cards. And then what you can do is you can puzzle time for a Trick Shovel and some other random card depending on what the situation is. And then what you can do is you can Trick Shovel, see what the top deck's going to be, and if it's something good, you discard it. If it's bad, you put it on top of the deck, which is really cool. And then, you could maybe grab 2 Trick Shovels, and that way you keep control of their top decks, make sure you know what they're drawing into, which is really, really cool. And that's pretty much the whole thing what we're going to do. We're going to put them down to 0, you Diggersby, and then you're going to control their top deck or Trick Shovels. That's the main thing you want to do in this deck. It's very hard, and it's kind of complicated. But if you pull it off, you could win the games with it barely. Almost. Because what you could do is you see a good card, Trick Shovel, you discard that, see another good card, Trick Shovel, and then they might have another good card. You're like, oh no, what do I do with this? So, it's something cool. But maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. We'll see for sure. We'll see what happens in the video. 3 Shaman to help set up early game as well. 4 Acrobike, look at top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand, discard the other. 2 Battle Compressor, you can discard cards and then grab them puzzle time. 1 Enhanced Hammer to discard any special energy, special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. 2 Love Ball to search out for Glameow. You can search out Bumblebee. Alright. 1 Pokemon Catcher, flip a coin of heads, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. And also, if you don't know, this is actually Daniel's list. He said, here you go, play this. This is my list. Play it. I wish this was a Lysander. This would be so much helpful. This is a Lysander, but you're relying on a coin flip instead of an automatic bring up. For puzzle time, you definitely use this for the second one. If you play 2 cards, put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. Alright. 3 red card. We've already been over this. 4 Trainer's Mode. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Pick 1 item card, put it into your deck or to your hand. 3 Trick Shovel, you discard either player's top deck, or you look at the top deck, and you may discard it or not discard it. It's up to you. 3 Ultra Ball to get your Shamans and Diggersby. 4 VS Secret to reuse supporter cards. 3 Delinquent. 2 Sycamore. 1 Team Flare Gun. I kind of wish there was a second one, because what could happen is you could prize one of them, and you're like, oh no, it's prized. And you're obviously not taking any prize cards with this deck. The deck this is kind of closely relate to is Sableye Garbodor. But even then, like, Sableye Garbodor is so much a better play than this. But, you know, we'll see if it works. 2 Silent Lab. You're going to turn off a basic Pokemon's abilities, which is great. You're going to shut down Shamans, Unknowns. Alright. 2 Team Aqua's Secret Bases. And what you could do with this, if your opponent puts down a Hoopa, you could license the Hoopa and then make it where it has a 3 retreat cost instead of 2. It makes it basically any Pokemon have 1 retreat cost more, which is it's a pretty big deal. Because, you know, you have to catch them up. Sorry, we don't play Lysander, we play catcher. You have to catch somebody up and then bring it up to the active, which is fairly annoying. 3 Flowstone, your Pokemon in free retreat, 4 DC, and 1 Fairy Energy. Now, this deck doesn't play in Headringer, so you can't Headringer your body, so you can Flowstone your body. It doesn't have Xerosic, so you can't discard Flowstones versus Tools. It doesn't have Megaphone, so you can't do that either. Like I said, this is Daniel's list. I feel like he's just punishing me I don't know why he's punishing me, but we're playing this list today. We're going to see what happens. It is a Glameow Diggersby deck. Like I said, the whole concept is to red card, Delinquent, and use the Glameow. It might work, it might not work. We'll see what happens today, but hopefully you enjoyed this deck list. It is pretty crazy. It is definitely for fun. It is not something to be serious about. It is Fan Friday. Anything can happen on Fan Friday, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Oh, we also played a pink Fairy Energy because Daniel's favorite card was pink. Our favorite color is pink. So there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, you're putting against Omar Power, playing a Psychic, Lightning, Steel, and a Colors deck now. It might be Night March with Bronzong. That's the best thing I can think of. We won the coin flip, so we'll get to go first. I think that's the best option to do. So yes, we'll have to go first. On to our turn. Let's see what happens. Now, we need to get the turn 1 red card. Delinquent play. Oh, man. Okay. So start Glameow for sure. Okay, I mean, we don't want to put down Shaman. We'll press done, and let's see, what are we playing against? A Night March deck. Alright, so we'll put down Glameow. We will Trainer's Mode, look at the top 4 cards of our deck. We'll grab a red card. Alright, so that's actually pretty good against Night March. We can put him down to 4. So red card. We will double Floatstones, and then we'll Shebe. So yeah, Floatstone, Shebe for 4. Yep. Alright, let's see, what did we get? We get a Battle Compressor double Time Puzzle. That's not what we needed. Okay. We'll put down Silent Lab, and we could Delinquent, put it down to 1. But I really want to keep that Silent Lab this turn. So we're going to end our turn. I think it's the best play. We're going to end our turn. On to our opponent's turn. Let's see what happens now. They can't use Shamans. They can't use Unknowns. They can put down their own Dimension Valley, but if that happens, we get Delinquent, bumping out of the way. There we see a Fighting Fury Belt, which really doesn't matter. We see a Jolta coming down, and a pass onto our turn. Okay, so we are going to... We could Delinquent, put him down to 0. Alright, so we're going to put a Fairy Energy on this guy. We are going to Delinquent. Let's play Catcher first. We're going to bring the other Pumpkaboo just to mill our hand down some. Come here, Pumpkaboo. We will Delinquent, put their hand down to 0. Alright, so Delinquent down to 0. You gotta discard 3 cards. I wonder what those 3 cards are going to be. Let's see what are those cards going to be. And then we're going to Shaman, hoping to hit some Trick Shovels. Maybe a Bumblebee. Maybe get the Diggersby out. Diggersby? Let's see what our opponent decides to do. He is taking a second. But what we need to do is hit a double Time Puzzle to get back to Silent Lab. That's the best thing we need to do right now. Opponent is taking a second, though. Come on, Omar Power. You have to select these 3 cards. There's only 3 cards you can pick, buddy. You don't have any other options. You put your hand down to 0. Oh, man. Maybe he's being salty right now. Not sure. Waiting for Omar. Come on, Omar. Don't let us down. Don't be scared of Glameow. I know. Trust me, I'm scared too. So he discards a Bronzong, Revive, and a Bronzong. That hand is just terrible. So we're going to Shaman, drawing up 6 cards. And let's see. Can we get the double Time Puzzle? So we're going to Trick Shovel. We'll discard top card of my opponent's deck. Yes. And let's see what it is. A DC, yeah, we're discarding that DC for sure. We're going to Acrobike. We're looking for... Okay, that's not what we needed. We'll grab the Glameow, sure. And I think what we'll do is retreat to the Glameow and just pass. Yeah, we're going to retreat to Glameow and just pass, because there's really no need to act cute this turn, because, you know, I know Glameow is cute and everything, but it's really no point. It's just sad we didn't get another Silent Lab down. But we'll see. My opponent has, okay, there's a DC going to that guy, on to our turn. What do we get? We get a puzzle of time. Alright. Alright. I think I'm just going to pass. Yeah, I think I'm going to pass, and we're going to wait for my opponent to play his hand down, and then we can delinquent, put him down to 3. I think that's the best play, a pass on our turn. Get a Battle Compressor. Yeah, let's Compressor. I think we'll Compressor. Let's see, is Team Flare Grunt in the discard pile? There's Team Flare Grunt, that's in the deck, that's great. So discard Team Flare Grunt. And I think we'll pretty much hold on to everything else. Everything else is pretty much needed. Like, we need the Ultra Balls, we need the Love Balls. I'm still just going to pass. I'm fine with just passing. We'll see what my opponent does. As soon as he puts down a Stadium, we can play Delinquent, discarding his hand some more. Okay, we really need to get a Bumblebee. If we get a Bumblebee out, that would be great. I really wish we had a Bumblebee right now, but we don't. I pass on to our turn. Get a VS Seeker. VS Seeker doesn't really do anything else for right now, but we can use the VS Seeker to grab a Flare Grunt. I pass on my opponent's turn. The question is, so they play Bronzong. We know that for sure. They discarded 2. So they receive Compressor. They're going to discard 3 cards out of their deck. They must have a VS Seeker in their hand. Maybe they just want to discard 3 Lampets, so that way their hand's not being clogged anymore. There's a lot of different reasons to go with this Battle Compressor. I really wish we just had that Hand Stammer, so we could discard that DC, but we really need to hold on to these puzzle times. That's probably the best thing we need to do. Realistically, I probably should have retreated to the other Glameow with the Floatstone, and then we should have kept Sky Returning to draw more cards while also knocking out the Pumpkaboo. That would have been really funny. But they receive discards a Lampet, Sycamore. They receive a VS Seeker. Grab the Sycamore, go and discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. But like I said, what we can do next turn is if he attacks us this turn, we can Delinquent, putting his hand, discard 3 cards, and we can discard the Dimension Valley. They receive a Bronzor coming down. We see a Trainer's Mail, look at top 4 cards of his deck, and he needs to be careful. If he puts his hand down to 3 once again, he'll end up losing it all, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't want that to happen. So we'll see what my opponent decides to do. He has the Ultra Ball. He could Ultra Ball for Shaman, but like I said, it gets risky. He puts a Shaman down, we can catch it up. They receive an Ultra Ball, discarding a Joltik and a Lampet. There's a Shabe, okay, so he's going to Shaman for 3. Yep, that's what he's going to do. He's going to Shaman for 3. There's a Love Ball. Grabbing probably another Bronzor, maybe? A Pumpkaboo. That seems fine. He's taking a knockout regardless. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 40, 60, 80. So, yeah, Pumpkaboo coming down. Shaman drawn 4. Alright. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see what does my opponent get. Now, next turn, if we could DS Seeker, there's a Metal Energy. Okay. And a pass on our turn. Alright, so get an Ultra Ball. So I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard Delinquent. Delinquent Puzzle Time. Yeah, so we're going to grab those 2. With this, we're going to grab a Bumblebee. And then we can get a Diggersby out next turn. It's in our hand. And we could start using its attack. So put down a Bumblebee. We will VS Seeker for Team Flare Grunt, discarding that Metal Energy. Yeah, I think it's the best play for sure. Yeah, Team Flare Grunt, discard that Metal Energy. And we'll put a DC on this guy, and we'll pass. Okay. Now, if he takes a knockout this turn, we have the Diggersby, we have the Glameow. We have a lot of different options next turn for sure. But let's see what our opponent decides to do. The only downside is he could easily knock out the Shamans at any moment. He is down 1 DC, or 2 DCs already, which is great for us. He has 2 left in deck. And he's down his Bronzongs already. So he needs a Super Rod and or a Buddy Buddy Rescue. They receive the Dimension Valley. We see a DC going to the active. And does he have a Lysandre or not? It's the big question. And if we top deck a Delinquent, what we could do is Delinquent, discard that Dimension Valley, and use Glameow's attack. So that'd be really great. But let's see what happens. We'll send the Glameow. And on our turn, what do we get? A Trick Shovel. Alright, so we're going to play Trick Shovel. discard top card of my opponent's deck. Yep, we're going to discard a VS Seeker. We're going to put the Diggersby down, and we're going to Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. What are they? Alright, so we get the Enhanced Hammer. We'll discard the DCE. We'll put down the Silent Lab. We will retreat into the Diggersby. And we are going to dig. I really want to save everything else in our hand. It seems really good. And with this, we're going to grab Puzzle Time and a red card. Yep, those are 2 good cards. Because we have the VS Seeker for Delinquent. We have the red card. And we have Puzzle Time. We have a really good hand next turn. Let's see what our opponent decides to do. We could get an Enhanced Hammer back. We have a lot of outs next turn to disrupt our opponent. He is down to 22 cards. There's a VS Seeker. Maybe grabbing a Sycamore, or yeah, Sycamore is his only option. So Sycamore, go and discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. And let's see what those 7 are going to be. I think the only misplay I've made so far is we should have retreated to the other Glameow and start Sky Returning. You see I have Metal Angel Gun this guy. And does he play a switch is my question. And if he does, we might be able to get rid of the DCE. Yeah, there's a switch. We might be able to get rid of the DC and the Metal Energy, which would be really clutch. So we see a Fighting Fury Belt coming down. Okay. Yeah, if we get rid of both of those, he'll be in really big trouble because he's already played 1, 2, 3. That's the third one, Fighting Fury Belt. And he's going to keep milling his deck out just more and more for us, which is great. We want this to happen. Now, he will take a prize card. There we see he discards 2 AZ. And what was the other card? AZ, Shauna, and a Metal Energy. Diggersby gets knocked out. We'll send up Glameow. And let's see what happens onto our turn. Alright. So we're going to Team Aqua's Secret Base. So I'm going to red card. Yeah, we'll red card. Okay, sorry, I was debating something. So red card, go put Bonnet down to 4. We are going to VS Seeker for Delinquent. Okay. Play the Delinquent, put my opponent down to 1. I'm trying to figure out the best thing to do with this way. We're going to discard that DC, that's for sure. Delinquent's going to discard 3 cards out of his deck. Now, we can Puzzle Time, grab the Enhanced Hammer, discarding the DC off the active, and then maybe grabbing a Silent Lab. But Silent Lab doesn't really seem that useful right now. How many VS Seekers has he played is my question. 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, he's already played all 4 of his VS Seekers? What? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So yeah, I'm going to Puzzle Time. Playing the other Puzzle Time. We'll play 2 of those. And with this, we'll grab a Enhanced Hammer for sure. And it could be risky. Get a catcher. Bring up this Bronzor. That might be interesting. But I think we need to play a little bit smarter than that. So we're going to grab the Enhanced Hammer. And we're going to grab... We'll grab a VS Seeker so we can play... Yeah, we're going to grab those 2. That seems like the best option for sure. So we're going to Enhanced Hammer. Discard that DCE. We are going to Level Ball. With this, we're going to grab a Bumblebee. Okay. We'll put down the Bumblebee. And we will execute putting that card onto their deck. Okay. He has no more VS Seekers. He has 1 DCE left as well, if I remember correctly. I think there's 3 in here. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So he's going to put that card on top of his deck. The question is... does he play Puzzle Times? We haven't seen any yet. So pass on our turn. Alright, great. We get a red card. I'm going to Trainer's Mill. Ooh, there's a Puzzle Time for later on. We don't need to grab any of those. We're going to VS Seeker for a Sycamore. Yep, we're going to grab a Sycamore. Alright, we're going to play the Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. And let's see, we could Team Flare Gun. Ooh, that might have been spicy. Okay, so we're going to DC this guy, retreat into this, and we're going to Trick Shovel, and we're going to look and see what my opponent's top deck's going to be. Let's see, what is it going to be? A Joltik. We'll actually keep that on the top. We actually need him to draw into that, and we're going to Ultra Ball, discard the Level Ball and the Acrobike. I'm like 99% sure there's a Diggersby in our discard pile. Yep, there we go. We'll put down the Diggersby. And we'll grab 2 Puzzle of Times. So yeah, we'll pick up, put 2 Puzzle Times into our hand. And we know he has a Joltik on top. So with this, we'll grab a Puzzle Time and a Puzzle Time. All right. So, let's see. Can we win the game or not? Onto our opponent's turn. Let's see what happens. We know that's a Joltik. For sure. We know that's a Joltik. Okay. I don't know what the other card is. It kind of concerns me, but we should be okay still. And what we can keep doing is manipulate my opponent's top decks with Puzzle Time. And we see my opponent concedes the game. He realizes he couldn't do it. Man, if you put down a DCE, we would have Puzzle Time, Enhanced Hammer, discard that DCE, and we would have won the game. Oh my goodness. So there is oh my goodness. There is Diggersby, Glameow taking the win against Night March. That is so crazy. My opponent conceded the game and realized he couldn't do anything. So yeah, that is Fan Friday. Woo, that was crazy. I didn't think we were going to win a game at all with this deck. But there you go. There is Diggersby, Glameow taking a win. Some I think we were like 0 I'm not gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. I think we were 0-6 like before this. But there we go. Taking a win against Night March. It seems like it's an okay matchup because you can discard all their DCEs. They don't play Puzzle Time. We'll be okay. But there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Fan Friday. Hopefully you enjoyed Glameow, Diggersby. What I was gonna keep doing is just put 2 Puzzle Times in our hand, and we're going to see what our opponent's top deck was going to be. We could have Trick Shovel, and if it was like a DC, we would have discarded that, like for sure. That's what I was planning on doing, just keep on Trick Shoveling. If it was a bad card, put it back on top of their deck, they were going to draw into it, use Puzzle Time again. Maybe you could have gotten double Trick Shovel with Puzzle Times. It could have been, I don't know, 2 Trick Shovels with a discard pile, though, that's the only thing, maybe. But we could eventually Puzzle Time, grabbing the Bundle Bean and Energy Retreat, double Rotiller for the game as well. Once he has 3 cards left in his deck, so we wouldn't have decked out before him. That's the main thing. I was just trying to discard that last DCE, and then we would have won the game for sure. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Fan Friday. Hope you have a great day. Have a great weekend. Alrighty, bye.